I don't count myself among these kooks, loons, who are constantly banging the pots and pans. But when a president in front of your eyes is taking certain steps, and you're rational, and you sit there and you're watching them, and he's doing things that are peculiar, in my view, things that at first are hard to explain, there's got to be some reason for it. There's got to be a reason why his entire administration is moving in a particular direction. Now, they've been pretty tongue-tied, and they've contradicted each other, and I think that's because they don't really want to articulate it all. Apparently, Gates over at Defense resisted some of this, but apparently not strongly enough. I don't have, right now, a family member in the United States military, but I can tell you this, I'd be damn concerned with all this nonsense bringing in the UN Security Council. As far as I'm concerned, the mass murders in China, the fascists in Russia, they don't get to decide the fate of my son and daughter or my husband and wife, whatever your situation must be or is. And as I said last hour, they don't allow us to determine the fate of their countries or their people, do they? They don't drag their situations in the UN Security Council and seek our permission or our silence. They do what they have to do. We elect people to public office to protect this society, to advance this society, not other society. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an isolationist. I want human beings, to be free to function across borders and so forth. Of course. I think that's absolutely crucial. It's also crucial to secure the border and determine who's going to come here as best as we can. It's also crucial to protect the greatest nation man has ever established from those who run genocidal regimes and are dictators of one totalitarian form or another. Our Constitution does not permit our government to cede authority to international organizations. Now, we can participate in international organizations in order to advance our interests and to secure our society, and you build alliances that way. I understand that. I have absolutely no problem with that. I'm not talking about. Why would we ask the permission of 10 countries, 15 countries, whoever the hell they are, wherever the hell they are, whether or not we should take action that the president just said is our national security interest? If it's in our national security interest and they say no, then what are we going to do? And if it's in our national security interest, we don't go to those bodies and ask if they'll pat us on the head and let us go our way. This is becoming a bigger and bigger problem, and I predict if we don't elect a president who recognizes it, it's going to become an enormous problem. Again, I don't want to confuse building alliances, having allies, taking on joint missions, which we've done throughout our history, with conferring sovereign decisions on other countries. I'll give you a parallel when it comes to the law. It's like the Supreme Court looking to foreign law to guide it in interpreting the American Constitution. Well, foreign law has all kinds of influences that have absolutely nothing to do with our society, and they certainly have nothing to do with our Constitution. If you believe, as I do and you do, that this is the greatest country on the face of the earth because of our humanity, our tolerance, our justice, our Constitution, then why would we turn to societies that have none of those things or respect none of those things for their assent? I think that's a disaster. And I have to be frank, and this will upset some of my friends, it didn't start with Obama. It started with 41, moved to 43, and now, of course, Obama takes it and pushes it in a completely new and more aggressive direction. But that's where we are. Choo-choo Mark, New York City, the great WABC. Go.
It's been a long time, baby. How you doing?
Mr. Engineer, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'll make this quick. I'll get off the air. When the family of four was killed by the pirates, he didn't intervene. He tried, but he didn't. He didn't protect America. And the reason I'm bringing that up, even though it's an older story, is he hit the roof when the Navy SEALs killed those pirates off the Somali coast. He is beyond pacifist, Mark, when it suits him. He's I'm a little nervous because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Wait a minute. Didn't he take credit for ordering them to
yes, he did, but I was told from some research that He actually hit the roof. He didn't want them to be killed with a headshot, those pirates. He did, even though he took credit for it, he didn't want to because he's a duplicitous you-know-what. He's getting us involved in stuff here, and people are going to say, oh, you know what, you right-wingers, you're just racist. It has nothing to do with the racism. He is a pacifist, and he's taken orders.
Well, let me ask you this. When they opposed the war in Iraq, were they racist?
Exactly.
All right, I got to run. I got a hard break. Call again, brother. We'll be right back. There's just so much confusion and incoherence here. I mean, we've got Cuba, which is a police state, right off our shores, and this administration wants to ease relations with it. Out the window go universal principles. In our own hemisphere in Latin America, communism is on the rise. We don't lift a finger. So it just doesn't make any hell of a lot of sense to me. We'll be right back. Washington Post reports the U.S. military dramatically stepped up its assault on Libyan government ground forces this week and launching its first attacks with AC-130 flying gunships and A-10 attacked aircraft. These are brutal, which are designed to strike enemy ground troops and supply convoys, according to senior U.S. military officials. Now, when our military is in battle, I want them to kick ass. Overwhelmingly kick ass. But does this sound to you like we're simply trying to keep the people of Libya safe, or does it sound to you like we want to take out Gaddafi's ability to defend himself and then let the rebels overthrow him? That's my sense of this. Here's why I'm uncomfortable apart from everything else. There are a lot of very wicked, evil, nasty, terrorist types in the Middle East. Some of them in these organizations were given birth in Egypt. Some of them were funded for the longest time through Libya. We already know Al-Qaeda has a big role with the rebels in Libya. We know the Muslim Brotherhood is extremely active and may well be leading efforts in the next election the election in Egypt. I'm just not comfortable with all this. And if you read much of Edmund Burke and his so eloquent and brilliant thoughts about the French Revolution, I think you'll agree. Now, there are those out there who are not Burkean, and they're something else, and they just think all this activity, these civil wars and rebellions and protests and riot, it's a good thing. Now, I don't know whether it's a good thing or not. Now, if it's overthrowing a regime such as the regime in Iran, I mean, how much worse can that get? It's already run by a bunch of Islamo-Nazis, which are funding terrorism, seek our destruction of our allies and so forth. But I could have sworn just a month or two ago it was the official position of the United States government that Gaddafi was to be supported and lauded for his good efforts. So you have to admit it's a little confusing. Now he's our sworn enemy. He's always been our sworn enemy, really, but I'm talking about what our government's position has been. So we cannot control the outcome of all these events. And I don't believe Obama's just involved in this for humanitarian reasons. There's a lot of other places he could have gone any time during his 2 years, and he objected to efforts to save the Iraqi people from that clear megalomaniac, mass genocidal murderer, Saddam Hussein. He was very outspoken in his objection to our involvement there. What really bothers me is the media either are not able to because they can't get access to the guy, or they refuse to pin this man down, to say exactly what I just said. And the APM are so busy kissing his ass, he'll never ask a tough question. But that's beside the point. How about Tammy in New Jersey, WABC? Go.
Yes, hi, Mark. I just want to say I love what you do for us. And I have a question concerning all these Mideast countries. The Hezbollah, they have offices situated in, Syria, Sudan, Tunisia, Yemen, Bahrain. Is there any reason why we're staying away, like Obama's choosing to stay away from them, and he don't, like right now he's focused on Libya? Like, I know he's aware who's got the Hezbollah. I just don't know why.
I don't think anybody knows why he picks a fight, participates in a fight, and doesn't pick a fight. I've given my theory. He looks for opportunities to advance his ideology, and that Doesn't mean he's necessarily opposed to, obviously, saving lives, but he's very selective. I mean, if I were to sit down with Obama today and just have a discussion with him, I would pursue this line of thought, and I don't think the man could give me a logical answer. Number one, he'd want to conceal the fact that he really does want to transfer authority as much as he can out of the United States to these other, well, to the UN, which is technically out of the United States, but not really. And I don't know why we do that. I don't know why we give up our own ability to use our own judgment in matters of life and death for our own country and our own people to people, many of whom don't like us and wish bad things on us. And yet that seems to be an approach that he seeks to promote. So, and also, when you make these overarching claims or claim to have an overarching doctrine, like we will oppose efforts to diminish universal rights, or where there is torture or rape or murder, we will intervene and so forth. You're making a claim that's not true. We're not going to do all those things. We couldn't do all those things if we wanted to. We would destroy our own society. We'd be in a constant state of war. Our treasury would be even more broke than it is today. So it would be self-defeating. So you have to pick and choose. You have to make priorities. And he has not explained himself in a coherent way. I mean, I'll give you an example. He kicks the crap out of Israel every chance he gets. Well, you talk about Hezbollah. Israel is not only a close ally, but they're best able to deal with Hezbollah and Hamas and Syria and Iran. I'm not saying go to war with them, but they're best able to be strengthened and supported. To make it clear that that's the case, instead, they build an apartment house or expand one, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and we threaten to undercut them. You figure it out. All right. Tammy, if you try to figure out the surface reasons that are given for all this, it won't make sense. You'll lose your mind. So you got to go under the surface and try and figure out, what's this guy up to? And I think I know what he's up to. I think he's up to no damn good when it comes to the United States' ability to act on its own. And by the way, same with Israel. And same with Britain. Same with most of our allies. Thank you for your call. Dawn in Los Angeles, the great KBC. Go.
Hi, Tom. How are you? I love your show, and I wanted you...
Wait a minute. Who am I?
My name is Dawn from Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're Dawn. Who am I?
I almost said Tom. I apologize.
No, you did say Tom.
I did. I apologize. I meant Mark.
All right.
I used to listen to Tom Likas. I'm sorry.
Yes.
My question is...
We have so much in common, Likas and...
Oh, you're both
anyway, go
spoken.
ahead.
You speak your mind. That's what I like. I truly believe that Obama is taking absolute power. He's completely gone around our legislature, around our Congress, and
so why doesn't Congress stop him?
I don't understand that. That's why I keep listening to you and Sean to educate me, and I can't figure it out.
Congress has enormous power to stop him right now. They could do it tonight if they wanted to. They could try anyway.
He's completely ignored. He hates the Americans. I believe he hates America. He hates the Americans, and he's setting us up for the global power of George Soros. I believe that.
You do, huh?
I do. I really do. The money's going in that direction. All of our finances are going in that direction. All of our legislatures going in that direction. If you look at the budget through 2020 on whitehouse.gov, he's tripled all of the programs, social programs, and he's increased taxes across the board, corporate and individual. And he wants everyone fully dependent on the government, and I'm scared to death of him.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dawn, thank you for your call.